Hey guys, so in this part I'm gonna configure the CC3D. Um, that's your final step, I guess, if you wanna make it fly. Mine was previously configured, so I didn't have to do that. But if you're doing this for the first time, this is an important step. A good point about the CC3D is that the GUI or the wizard is really rookie proof, if I may say that. You just have to follow the instructions and you will make it on your own if you want, but I'll make it with you as well. I'm gonna say some little tips in the end that you have to put on the configuration menu. That's for last. So let's do this. First, you have to install the OpenPilot. I'm gonna put a link in the description, but I'm not gonna install it in this video. It's pretty easy. You just have to download the file and install it. It's just with some clicks of a button you have it installed. So I'm not gonna do that part. They're gonna put the link on the description. Once you have the wizard, you'll see this menu here, and you'll have to click via vehicle setup wizard. But first, you have to connect the USB to the drone. You will notice that my USB port is on the right of the drone, since the front of the drone is that way. I did that because I didn't have space on the back to put a cable. If you want to know how to do this, in the end I'm gonna make the command to do that, so stay tuned. So let's start. Oh yeah, I put the FPV camera because I didn't want to connect the FPV gear, because you never, and I repeat, never should power your drone without the FPV camera. If your FPV gear is hooked to the energy, it will blow your FPV transmitter. So never do that. I didn't want to open it up and take off the cable, so I just put the antenna. So you click here on the vehicle setup wizard, and at first you have a warning. Please follow this warning. I didn't hurt myself because I didn't listen to this warning, but since this is a small quad, I'm not gonna take them off because I'm just gonna hold the drone when you start to spin. When it starts to spin, but please, if you're doing this with a bigger or 250 quad, remove the propellers. You can get hurt and you feel kind of stupid in the end. So follow the advice. So you click next, and yes, you want to upgrade the firmware. I'm gonna do that as well because I'm the last time I did upload the firmware was like 3 months ago. So why not? So the board is updated and it says to press next, so let's do that. Yeah, you see here that your connection is a copter control and the board is a OpenPilot copter control 3D. Now that's correct. Let's play next. Okay, this is your input signal. If you're using a normal receiver, you'll use PWM. That is from your main port. I'm gonna put a diagram up. From your main port, you'll have all your cables to all your channels, individual cables for each channel. So channel 1 will be a cable, channel 2 will be another cable, and so on. Since I'm using satellite, as I said, I'm gonna choose Spectrum Satellite. The satellite is already bind to my receiver, and I'm gonna make a video on how to bind it, and hook it, and how do you hook it up to your CC3D. That's in a different video. If you don't have satellite, you'll choose PWM or PPM. That's another type of connection from your receiver to your board. But in this case, I'm using Spectrum Satellite. Says your controller is rebooting. Let's wait then. Oh wait, it's already rebooted. As you can see, you have different types of vehicles, from multi-rotors to fixed wings to surfers. In this case, we're using multi-rotors. Click next, and yes, it's a quadcopter in a X configuration. That's right. Click next. Yeah, you have various types of ESCs. Please check them in what frequency they are before you do this. I've already did my research, and my own are rapid ESCs, so this is my choice to make. If you have BLHeli one shot, you may want to try this one because it's awesome. the response of it is awesome, but mine is just rapid ESC, so I will choose this one. Click next. And here you see that the summary of what you did earlier, and you can check the connection on how you should connect the drone to your board. You see motor 1 to 4 and how it should be, and the satellite how it should be. Note that this is not the correct way. I will explain how you should connect your satellite to your board in another video. And you can say the diagram if you want. I'm not going to do that. So hit next. Okay, this is the procedure of calibrating your sensor. You should place it flat on the table and hit calculate. I'm holding the drone so it doesn't oscillate or is facing to one side. Once it's done, you go hit next. Okay, this is important. It's a calibration of your ECs. You should do this or they may be unsynced with the throttle input of your drone. So let's start. Read this, it's important. Not connect the battery yet. Remove all propellers. It's not powered with your battery in this case. Yes, it's not paired. And I really understood all the instructions above. Yes. Okay, so let's start. Hit start. Connect your battery. You see the ACs are syncing. And yeah, now they are all synced to the same throttle response. You can take off your battery now and hit next. Again, remove all propellers. It's important and you should follow this advice. I'm just lazy and I'm not gonna do this right now, but please do that if you don't want to cut your fingers. Okay, so first you have to put in the neutral position of the motor. To do so, you have to power up your board with the battery. Okay, here you click start, and you should see. Okay, you must put the bar up until the motor is spinning. So just on the point where it starts to spin, not on when it starts to when it stops. Just when it starts to spin. So in this case is 1026. You hit stop, and you will do this for all your motors. Again, just start sliding. Hit start, slide the. Hit the cable. So hit stop. Again, it should be close to the other one. You know your Cs are good when they are almost the same throttle response, or yeah, 126 again. That's good. Let's do the other one. I bet it will be the same. Yeah, 26. And this should be again 26. Yep, 26. Perfect. All the same. So after that, you can disconnect your battery. Please do so that your motors don't start to spin. And if you have some of these boards, you can put the configuration, the tuning to these ones. Since I don't think this had the 150 quad, I'm not going to use any one of these configurations. Just use the current tuning. Click next. You can save the file for later. If you have to erase the board for whatever reason, you can save it. And just to be sure. Again, rebooting can take a minute. and it's done. Now let's configure the transmitter. For that you have to have a binded receiver, or in this case satellite receiver, before you do this. Okay. So let's configure the transmitter. For this you have to have a binded receiver or satellite in this case before you do this. So let's do this. Transmitter setup wizard. This says that a drone is always disarmed, so you don't have the problem that propellers will spin when you start to calibrate the throttle on the transmitter. That's a good thing. So okay, click next. Oh yeah. To power your receiver, you have to have 5 volts in, so you have to hook up the battery to the drone so that your receiver is powered on. In this case I'm flying acro. It says normal transmitter for fixed wing or quad. That's our case. In this case I'm using mode 2, that is the throttle. It's in the left side and not on the right side. Mode 1 is the throttle is on the right side, not on the left side. So in this case I'm using mode 2. So you see here that the says please move each control. So you have to move each control when it says so. So in this case first is the throttle. Move the throttle. Then is the ailerons, pitch, and the yaw. Now my flight mode will be this one, so I'm using this. And my accessory is this one in this case. I don't have accessory 1 or 2, so I'm put next and skip. Now I have to center all your controls so that knows when the center value is. In this case you just have to put on the throttle, hit next, and now you have to move all your controls to maximum depth. Let's put each side, move this one and this one. You see that in the image is moving correctly, so yeah, you did a good job. Hit next. Check if the movement is not reversed. In this case it's following my commands. Okay, in this case my pitch is I have to reverse the input signal, so if you hit reverse you see now the input is correct, and my roll is also correct. My flight switch is okay, and my accessory is also okay. Hit next. You have completed, and check again if this is all correct. If it isn't, start from the end and do all again, the transmitter setup, and you're done. So now you should be ready to fly a drone. So if you're curious, to put the drone, the USB port to your right, you should go to here, attitude, and here rotate virtual attitude relative to the board. So in this case, in the yaw, you have to put 90 degrees if you wanna rotate the board to your left. In this case, so that the USB port is on the right. Hit save. And this is safe. Yeah, don't forget to take this off. If you leveled here, you don't have to level anywhere else, so take this off. Don't forget to save. And you can disconnect your battery after you did with transmitter. Okay, you can see here in the flat data where your drone is, so see that's correctly following my input, so front, back, and if it isn't doing the same thing that you are doing, do it again, the wizard, because it should be. Okay, another thing is the arming settings. Here you can choose how you want to arm it. Okay, I always like to put pitch forward, and I want to put my arming timeout to 6 seconds so that when you stop the drone after 6 seconds it will disarm. For me it's a good thing because I always forget to disarm the drone. Yeah, it happens to me. So it's always a good thing. Okay, let's just see if it works now. I power out my transmitter and put a battery in, and I'll put the pitch forward. The computer said arm, so it's armed. If you want to disarm it, I think you just do the opposite. But since I know that it works, I'm passing this through. Let's see if the RC input is correct. You can see here that it is moving. Once I move my throttle, my roll, my pitch. No, I don't want to arm it. My pitch and my yaw. Also the flight mode and my collective in this case. No, CC3D, sorry. Okay, now how you may think, how do I change my flight mode settings? It's in the flight mode switch settings. So there's basically 2 or 3 modes you want to fly. You can explore other ones, but I haven't. So first is the attitude mode. The gyro does your leveling for you, so you don't have to worry about leveling the drone. I recommend this if you're flying for the first time, because flying in other modes can be confusing at first. So try the sky stabilize 1 mode. If you want to change it, just click on it and you can change for all your modes here. The other one is the rate mode. This one I personally fly it and I loved it, but I had to fly a lot in attitude mode first, so don't think that the rate mode is better. You have to have some time in attitude before you fly rate. In rate mode, the drone doesn't stabilize for you, so the gyro is off in this case, and the input is always so the drone stays where when you stop putting the input on the air. So I don't know how to explain it better, but basically you don't have stabilization with the gyro. In this case, in stabilized to 3. Since my stabilized mode channel only has two modes, I can only fly on 1 or 3. So I always put on attitude or rate. If you want to put to do rolls and spins, I think acro plus. It's a little bit better than rate, but you can fly it on rate and do flips and rolls. I always fly on this mode and I can do that. Another thing you may want to do is configure your settings bank. In this case, your settings bank 1 is your attitude bank, and you may want to put it a little bit different on the inputs. In this case, the attitude is on moderate. The first time I flew it, I did put it a little bit low because it was a little bit too sensitive for me, and also my rate was a little bit too sensitive. But if you like to fly aggressively, you want to put them up. In this case, I will put them up. Another thing is the acro plus. That is the roll factor, I guess. You basically put this up if you're flying on rate, so I can do flips and rolls. In this case, we're not. And roll, pitch, and yaw, the proportional integral, is a little bit more complicated if you're a rookie, but I'll make a video on this on another time, not now, because it does have its thing, and you have to do it through a lot of calm and thinking before you mess with this, because it's not complicated, but at the same time it is a little bit. So I'll do it in another video. Settings bank 3 is a rate mode, so if you want, again, you want a little bit more sensitivity on the drone, you put this up. And I like my yaw quite sensitive, so I'll put my yaw to the little bit higher. But if you already understand PID tuning, you'll have to go to advanced mode. And this you can change your proportional, your PIDs basically on each roll, pitch and yaw, and in each thing. I'm not gonna do this on this video, so I'll just keep my basic configuration. Oh yeah, don't forget to save every time you leave your tabs here, or you'll lose everything. Now the wizard is complete. Let's try and just spin the motors, arm it and spin. So let's disconnect, click disconnect, disconnect it from the cable. I'm gonna put the battery in. And remember, don't do this with the props on. Take off the props. Okay, so to arm it, if you remember, I did put pitch up. You see that the LED here, it starts from a fast blink to a slow blink. And now, okay, now it's slow blink. See, it's working. So next, you have to try and fly it in a, preferably in a big area, and have fun. With this, all your configuration is complete and you're ready to fly your drone. If you have any other thing you want me to talk about, post it on the comments. I'll try to make it as clear as possible. If it isn't working at first, restart your wizard and do all the steps again, and it will work. If you like, thumbs up and subscribe.